If you're like most people, chances are you reach for some sort of beverage with caffeine to get you going in the morning. The Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, states that about 80% of adults in the United States consume caffeine daily. Beyond enjoying that nice buzz we get from our cup of coffee, most of us don't really think about how caffeine affects our bodies. But the truth is that caffeine has significant effects on your system, especially your brain, and that can go both ways. Sure, caffeine can power you through an afternoon slump, but it's also a stimulant that taps directly into your nervous system. You could even say that caffeine is a drug, and that means you should know what its effects are to protect your brain. So in this video, we'll reveal the 5 worst and best effects of caffeine on the brain. Plus, you'll also discover why consuming caffeine can be fatal in some cases, and the best way to manage your caffeine intake so you can enjoy its benefits while minimizing its risk. But before we jump into all that, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to Brain Health Smarts to get more brain-friendly video content delivered fresh to you every week. And stick around to find out how you can get a free gift that will help you nourish, protect, and boost your brain health big time. Now let's continue. All right, so what is caffeine exactly? Most of us just know that it's the stuff that keeps us awake when we feel like nodding off during the day, but it's so much more than that. In a nutshell, caffeine is literally a drug. In fact, many health organizations around the world classify it as a psychoactive drug. And you can find caffeine in nuts and seeds of various plants, such as Coffea arabica, found in coffee, Thea sinensis, which is used to make tea, Cola acuminata, found in most sodas, Theobroma cocoa, which is used to make chocolate and cocoa, and Paullinia cupana, which you'll find in snack bars and energy drinks in the form of guarana. And this substance goes as far back as 2737 BC, when the first instance of tea was historically recorded. In 2014, the Institute of Medicine in Washington, D.C. published a journal that studied the effects of caffeine on the nervous system. And it recognized it as a psychostimulant that has the same effects on the brain as cocaine and amphetamine. And the Alcohol and Drug Foundation in Australia also says that caffeine is a stimulant drug that speeds up messages traveling between the brain and the body. But what does it do to your brain, really? Well, let's jump into the 5 best effects of caffeine on the brain, starting with number 5, caffeine boosts mental performance. A 2012 study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology put caffeine to the test. They observed how well people who consumed different dosages of caffeine could proofread a document and spot spelling and grammatical errors. Researchers found that caffeine does indeed boost mental performance when it came to these tasks. However, they did find that after a certain point, consuming more caffeine doesn't necessarily boost mental performance any further. For instance, those that took 400 milligrams of caffeine didn't do much better than those that only had 100 milligrams. So that's something to keep in mind when you've already had your 3rd cup of coffee for the day. All right, let's check out number 4. Caffeine is a great mood booster. Feeling great is another benefit of caffeine consumption. One of the other things this drug is known for is its ability to block adenosine. In a nutshell, adenosine is a neurotransmitter that acts as a central nervous system depressant. Under normal circumstances, it plays a role in promoting sleep and suppressing arousal. That's why you can't help but feel perkier when caffeine disrupts adenosine production and allows your body to produce more dopamine, glutamine, and a lively mix of other feel-good chemicals. The other interesting thing is that some studies have linked caffeine consumption with a lowered risk of depression, and even more when enjoyed as a cup of joe. These studies have even gone as far as to link caffeine to a lowered risk of suicide. However, these studies also recommend enjoying caffeine responsibly to get the most of its mood-boosting benefits. Okay, let's check out the next positive effect of caffeine. Number 3, caffeine protects long-term brain health. If you enjoy caffeine as coffee, here's some more good news. Coffee has polyphenol antioxidants, which are plant compounds loaded with health benefits. And research shows that these nifty little compounds can prevent cell damage. Not only that, they can also reduce the risk of cancer, diabetes, and even heart disease. Plus, polyphenols also help reduce inflammation, which is linked to a lot of chronic illnesses. This includes neurodegenerative illnesses such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. A study from 2004 found that regular caffeine intake can reduce the risk of these brain-related diseases. We've got 2 more of the best effects of caffeine left, so let's move on. Number 2. Caffeine boosts memory. Research from the National University of Singapore found that consuming caffeine can help us remember information better. And a 2014 study from the US shows that caffeine helps us retain and access the data stored in our brain. So if you're preparing for a test or need to remember things more easily in general, enjoying coffee or a caffeine-infused drink in moderation will do you good. And as we've pointed out before, overdoing it can have the opposite effect, so always be mindful of your daily consumption. Okay, it's time to move on to the last best effect of caffeine on the brain. Number 1. Caffeine helps you focus. If you're feeling worn down by the day and your brain has already checked out, a little caffeinated boost can help you get back on track and focus. A 2010 study in France looked at caffeine's cognitive enhancing effects, and the researchers found that it helps the brain's reaction time, and with performing focus-intensive tasks such as driving. They also found that professional drivers in particular who travel a lot have a lower risk of getting into an accident after having coffee or other caffeinated beverages. However, the same study also notes that high doses of caffeine can lead to anxiety, nervousness, jitters. So again, moderation is key. All right, now that we've covered the 5 best effects, it's time to look at the other side of the coin and get into the 5 worst effects of caffeine on the brain. But before we continue, don't forget to check out the link in the description to get your free gift, Brain Food Secrets, the 15 worst and best foods for your brain. In this book, you'll learn about foods that optimize your brain's health and longevity, and ones you should avoid. Okay, let's check it out. Number 5. Caffeine can wreck your sleep. So here's the thing. While caffeine can help you in the ways we just talked about, overconsumption can do more harm than good, especially on the quality of your sleep. Too much caffeine can keep your cortisol levels up, which is also known as the stress hormone. Now, cortisol in itself isn't bad for you, and it can give you a boost when you're under stress. The problem is when your cortisol is elevated all the time, because that can lead to chronic stress. If your brain's too wired from all that caffeine intake, you'll crash hard when the buzz wears off. And that'll make you want to have more caffeine to get the same buzz. But in the process, your sleep will suffer, making you even more stressed out than before. You'll keep consuming caffeine to compensate for the lack of sleep, which only keeps the cycle going. Worse, studies show that having coffee or any other caffeinated drink 6 hours before bedtime will ruin your sleep. And remember, caffeine also blocks your brain's ability to absorb adenosine, so you'll have an even harder time relaxing at night. And not having enough sleep means you'll have a harder time getting things done during the day, not to mention the fact that your immune system will suffer as well. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Too much caffeine makes you cranky. Again, overdoing caffeine can lead to negative consequences, including having too much adrenaline in your system. You see, caffeine gives your brain cells a jolt, and all that neural stimulation triggers your body to release adrenaline. Research from Canada and Japan observed the adrenaline spiking effects of caffeine on humans and rats, respectively. Both studies found that the psychoactive drug floods both human and rodent subjects with an abundance of adrenaline, which can lead to other negative effects. Basically, caffeine riles your brain into a heightened state of emotional arousal. Then your brain sends a message to your adrenal glands to kick adrenaline production into high gear. That makes you more prone to feelings of aggression and anxiety. And while that's useful if you're caught in a dangerous situation like a physical confrontation, it's not the best state to be in if you're handling more delicate matters, like having a difficult work-related conversation with a colleague, for instance. All right, let's check out the next one, which is number 3. Caffeine can mess with your brain. As you already know, caffeine heightens the senses, and it also speeds up your speech and thought processes. But if you overdo it, you might end up overloading your brain and end up confused. A 2005 study from Cambridge University looked at caffeine's neuropsychiatric effects. Researchers found that aside from developing high levels of anxiety and sleep disorders, too much caffeine can also cause stuttering and even psychosis in psychiatric inpatients. And a 2011 study also found that some people who overconsume caffeine can experience hallucinations from being too stressed out and overstimulated. Let's move on to number 2. Caffeine can be addictive. Like any drug, there's a risk of becoming too dependent on caffeine. In 2013, a study from the Journal of Caffeine Research suggested that the reason why people enjoy the benefits of caffeine is because they're actually experiencing relief from withdrawal symptoms. So if you've been feeling tired and irritable from not having your daily coffee fix, then it could be that you've become hooked on caffeine. But the good news is that you can manage to get your caffeine intake so you don't get addicted, and at the same time, still enjoy a healthy boost from your morning cup of joe. We're down to the last worst effect of caffeine on the brain, which is number 1, too much caffeine can be fatal. Yes, in some extreme instances, having too much of this drug can be lethal. So what are these rare cases exactly? In 2018, researchers from the University of Rome looked at the toxic effects of pure caffeine when consumed in powder or tablet form. They noted that taking caffeine this way is indeed deadly, with 92 documented fatal cases. And according to the FDA, 1 teaspoon of pure powdered caffeine is equivalent to 28 cups of coffee. Aside from overstimulating your brain, caffeine in this form can lead to heart palpitations, vomiting, and even cardiac arrest. With such a high risk of an accidental overdose, the FDA strongly recommends against buying pure powdered caffeine sold over the internet or from any other sources. So that means ordering 1 too many espressos at your favorite coffee place won't kill you. In fact, it would take around 150 cans of a typical caffeinated energy drink to kill an adult male. And chances are a person would vomit before they could overdose on caffeine this way. However, it's still important to remember that like any drug, there are always risks involved, fatal or not. So before we end this video, here's a quick guide to managing your caffeine intake. Moderation is key. As we mentioned before, there's a risk of being physically dependent on it, so you're better off consuming 2 to 3 cups a day. That comes out to about 400 milligrams of caffeine, which is what the FDA recommends. But if you find it hard to cut down on your caffeine intake, try the gradual approach. Slowly taper off your consumption over several days. This helps your brain unlearn its dependence on caffeine, and withdrawal symptoms such as headaches, anxiety, and low energy won't hit you as hard. Have caffeine no later than 2 p.m. Caffeine can stay in your body for 6 to 8 hours, so if you want to make sure you'll be able to sleep at night, it's best to cut yourself off early afternoon. Consume caffeine before a physically or mentally demanding activity. If you're planning on hitting the gym or doing some grueling paperwork at the office, have your favorite caffeinated beverage first. That way you can efficiently use caffeine and channel all that extra energy productively. All right, so that about does it for now. What's the worst or best effect you've experienced from your cup of coffee or caffeinated beverage? And how do you manage your caffeine intake? Let us know in the comments below. And by the way, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Brain Health Smarts if you haven't already. And ring that bell so you don't miss out on our latest videos. We're Brain Health Smarts. Our mission is to bring you life-changing tips, tricks, and updates, videos that help you care for your brain and boost your mental prowess. And don't forget, we have an important free gift for you. Brain Food Secrets, the 15 worst and best foods for your brain. You'll discover foods that help optimize your brain's health, enhance your mental focus, boost your mood, and more. Simply click the link in the description below. That's all for today, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.